Why do most people fail in the film industry? Because they think it's all about talent, and it's not. I've worked in this industry for over 30 years now, from messing around with cameras as a kid, through education, into professional work, running production companies, and even making feature films. And I've seen a lot of talented people, really talented people. People who can shoot beautifully, edit well, tell great stories. And most of them don't make it. I know that sounds really harsh and depressing, but at this channel, we're here to tell the truth, but also work out how to actually get success. So what actually separates the people who do from the people who don't? I can tell you it's not talent, it's staying power. Because this industry is hard. It takes time to get in, it takes longer to get stable, and even longer to build something sustainable. And a lot of people drop off along the way. Not because they're not good enough, not because there's anything wrong with them personally, but because they didn't realize what it takes. And it can be quite a shock to the system, or you can just get, a bit fed up with trying and trying and trying. So one of the biggest problems is expectation. A lot of people come into filmmaking thinking, if I'm good enough, I'll get noticed. And sometimes that happens. There's great success stories. We've got many heroes that's happened to. We've got many people in our lives that's happened to. But also, a lot of the time, it doesn't happen that way. Because this isn't a merit-based system in the way people expect. There's no clear ladder. No one is waiting to discover you. You have to push your way in. And that takes persistence. Another reason people struggle is they focus on the wrong things. They spend years obsessing over cameras, trying to make things look cinematic, chasing trends, instead of focusing on working with people, solving real problems, understanding how the industry actually works. Because filmmaking in the real world isn't just about making things look good. It's about communication, reliability, problem solving, and being someone people want to work with again. And then there's the reality of the work itself. For most people, filmmaking isn't big budgets, red carpets, feature films. It's freelance work, client projects, this pays the bills jobs. And that can be a shock. If you come into this expecting every project to be creatively exciting, you'll burn out quickly. But if you enjoy the process, the filming, the editing, the problem solving, whatever angle of the industry you're in, if you enjoy what you're doing within it, regardless of what the overall project is, then you've got a much better chance. And finally, a lot of people just stop. They hit a wall. They don't get responses to emails. They don't get jobs straight away. They don't see progress as quickly as they expected. And that might be financial, which of course is really important, but it could just be creatively, or it could be that career progression. And then they assume this isn't working. So they move on out of the industry. And again, that is valid, especially if it's right for them. But sometimes people do it and they regret it. It's not right for them. And that's what we want here, to just give you a certain set of expectations. So the people who make it, they keep going. They keep making things, they keep learning, they keep meeting people, even when it's slow, even when it's frustrating, even when it doesn't feel like it's working, they keep going. Because over time, things start to build. You get a contact, then another, then a small opportunity. And this is how it works. It builds up. Sometimes you don't even realize, and then boom, suddenly you've got contacts, suddenly you're working all the time. And it all turns into something bigger. So if you're thinking about getting into the film industry, don't ask, am I talented enough? Ask, am I prepared to stick with this long enough to make it work? Because that's what really decides it. That's what this all boils down to. So it is important to know about trends. You've got to stay up with what people want, people are expecting. It's important to know about the cameras, especially if you're going to be using them, or if you're editing, what's the edit software, the latest plugins, the latest editing trends, or if you're working in costumes, sound, every type of career. There's so many great careers in this industry, and we're going to get into all of that at BiteSize Film School. It's really important to stay up to date. I'm not saying it's not, but that is what is often focused on by people, when actually there are more practical things at hand, including having the mindset that you need to build those contacts. You need to be working and working up that ladder, and you need to realize that things can move slow. Sometimes they can move really fast suddenly and then slow down. And people think when it slows down, oh, that's the end, it's all gone wrong. No, that's just how this industry is for everyone. You can think of some really great filmmakers out there, you know, some huge Hollywood ones, and you go, they haven't made a film in ages. Well, suddenly it's slowed down for them. And there's a whole, you know, myriad of reasons why that might happen, but there is a comparison there. And I think for you, when you're starting out, or if you've been in the industry now and you're watching this and you've been in it for a number of years, you might even know what I'm talking about and are sticking with it, or you might be worrying and have come across this channel, and hopefully you're going to realize that you're not the only one. And those that stick with it can tell you that it's about sticking with it. So hopefully we'll have people on this channel in the future who can come and say just that. And everyone's story is different, but it does take tenacity and it does take a strong mindset. So I hope that's helped a little bit. And as always, subscribe and keep watching. Thanks.